All right. Welcome, ladies and gents. Apologize for being a minute late. I got stuck in traffic and talking to Sensei. We will start in 4 minutes. For those who are in here, let me know if you can see me. Let's bring up my charts. What is that noise? Welcome. Let me know if you guys can hear me and if you can see me. We will start in a few minutes, specifically 2 minutes. For those watching the recording, skip like 3-4 minutes ahead, and then we'll get started. Why is the camera filter red? There we go. My good sir or woman, happy Friday. I always forget. American Indian. What is your Discord username or your name? Let's bring this up. Hey, Alphas. Happy Friday. We'll start in a minute. Let me just bring this up. All right. And then you guys should be able to see my charts. If you can't see my chart, let me know. It should be loading up right now. Yeah. Depending what the question is, go for it. Do I solely use the strat to trade futures? Negative. I mainly use a strat. However, I also have some ICT setups. Let me show you which ones. Let me find, do I have it on this computer? I usually have everything on my laptop, which I have over here. I know I have this here somewhere because I downloaded it the other day to show somebody. Give me 1 sec. Let me pull this up. Omari, welcome. All right, let's see if this pastes on my screen over here. Sweet, it does. All right, alphas. The only one The only ICT setups that I use is pretty much the SysD model is also ICT. I just haven't updated this specific version. But yeah, I trade breaker blocks and chain state delivery models. And that's pretty much the only ICT setups that I use. Everything else is basically strat based. If you need a copy of this, let me know. My head is cutting off a bit. Oh, it was cutting it off a bit. Gotcha. Let me zoom in even more. There we go. Message me on Discord and I'll send you a copy of this. That way you can see it clear and have all the rest of the information. But yeah, basically just breaker blocks and chain set of delivery models and on those specific time frames in parentheses. Hey Jay. Yeah, whoever wants this, just message me on Discord at advent underscore and I'll send it over. You can also email me at ceruleanmindacademy@gmail.com. Unfortunately, I do have to say this with emailing me. For those who see this, I would highly appreciate it if you don't leave a comment on YouTube saying, hey, can you email this to me? I cannot email it to you. I don't know what your email is. YouTube does not provide me with that information when you comment on my stuff. So you need to email me for the information or hit me up on Discord. Thanks. All right. Oh, wow. Circle got obliterated. Nice. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Community Trade Recap and Assisting Traders, July 18, 2025. For those who are new here, we go over my trades. We'll go over your trades. I'll provide you feedback and give you some insight on what can help you improve and all that good stuff. You can give me options trade, Forex trades, futures, regular stock. It honestly doesn't matter. Just post it in the chat and give me as much detail as you can, and I will look it over for you. I didn't take anything today since nothing really showed up for me to take, which is fine. And I didn't trade yesterday since I was at an event in the morning and I don't really like trading the afternoon. Other than that, did you guys take any trades today? And if you did, put it in the chat. Also, as always, hit the like button or the heart button. I'll greatly appreciate it for these free classes I give for you guys. Also, win or lose, doesn't matter. Just let me know what trade you took and we'll look it over. Remember, losing is learning when it comes to trading. If you avoid losing, you're going to have a real bad time. I learned the most from all my losses. What was gold doing today? Pretty much a slow grind to the downside. Classic. Wick City. Not a fan. I know Ashley ate on that. She always finds her sniper entries on this. Probably Kim too. I didn't take any trades for the last 2 days, so the floor is everybody else's. You guys got me for another 20 minutes. So, whatever trades you want me to look at, now's the time. Again, no stupid trades. We're all here to learn. YM didn't do much after I got off today. And if you guys don't have any trades, we can definitely hop off in the next 5 minutes. Anyway, I will awkwardly sit here while you guys post your trades. Sweet. Let me know what tick is it. If it's an options trade, let me get the strike price, the expiration, what time you got in, what time you paid, or how much you paid for the contract. When you got out, all that good stuff, so I can follow along and map it out. Shout out QuantumScape, and shout out whoever held this with me for like a year, and maybe not a year. It was like half a year. Finally got paid. All these shorts getting obliterated and getting squeezed up. Very nice. They got earnings coming up on Wednesday. A 212 SPY yesterday did not take the trade, but it was 720 on 5-minute back to back. Let's check this out. So SPY yesterday on the 5-minute. Well, Jay, what time zone are you in again? PST. That's 3 hours. So it's 10:20. So this 212. So this 212, you want to take it short to the downside? To the upside. So, oh, whoops. This is Friday. My bad. Definitely was looking at the wrong thing. All right. So this is there we go. So 212, 212. This to the upside. And the orb, that the 15-minute orb. So I can mark it off and we can see a little clearer. All right. 15-minute high. 15-minute low. Oh, whoops. There's the 15-minute high. Cool. All right, let's go through the trade. What had you chicken out of it? Like, what was the hesitation? Gotcha. So essentially, what got you scared out? So just to be clear, you were going to get in on the second 212. So you were going to be looking to take basically this one. Gotcha. So if you were looking, gotcha. So what got you spooked out of this was essentially um, that it came back into the 15-minute opening range area. That makes sense. It's pretty much a mini W as well. Granted, not one that I would take because I needed to go to low of day and then reverse back up. This is just pulling off of high of day. The only some things that you would have had going for you. Let's mark this out real quick. You definitely had continuity in your favor. So this is Thursday. This is Wednesday. All right. So this is the 4-hour high. 2 up on 4-hour. And it looks like that's the daily high as well. 2 up on 4-hour. 2 up on daily. Once it breaks that level to the upside. Let's go back to the 5-minute. So several things here. We're pretty much bullish as soon as market opened and broke the level of the prior day. So overall time frames on the upside is bullish. On top of that, this candle or these candles would have spooked me a little bit with the big down close candles. However, if you were inclined to take this, of course, as I mentioned, this is, you can look at this as a W trade if you wanted to, because we have the higher low right here. So we have bullish structure getting back in. So this leg down here changed structure back bearish because it broke this low we had over here. So this is a lower low. However, then we'll reverse right back on that next 212 and make a higher low right here. So that could have given you some insight that we potentially would have headed back up. And of course, you're getting back into bullish time frame continuity when the 5-minute reverses back up. So some things that could have helped with the trade, at least in your case. I personally wouldn't have taken it, but I'm not too sure 100% what the correlation is with price coming back into the 15-minute orb area. Definitely let me know what you discovered on that. That way I can be more aware of it. But yeah, that's what I would have seen for that trade. At least you spotted it. So the only thing, just pull the trigger next time. I've never tested the 1-hour orb, Will. I know the 30-minute from what Brown Strat King, for those who know him, one of my mentors, one of my strat mentors. He mentioned that the 30-minute orb is like the original opening range break setup, and pretty much everything else is like kind of derived from that. So the 30-minute, from what he mentioned and what some others mentioned, is tends to be the better version, and everything else you just have to collect a lot of data. I used to take the 15-minute orb a lot during the beginning of the year and a little bit of from last year, and it was working out perfectly fine. But with the increase in volatility, in my experience, the consistency fell off. So I put that setup on the back burner for now until things calm down. Kel, you weren't the only one that ran out yesterday before SPY ran. Can you give me some insight on that? Like, did you get out early? Did you not get in at all? Did you get stopped out? What happened there? Let's go on the 15-minute. Yeah, that too, Jay, right? We should always be looking at the overall picture. You don't want to get stuck on one time frame, right? Yes, you have the 212 in the beginning of the day, which it pretty much triggering the two up would also trigger you on the higher time frames over here. So while the trigger level is not exactly at the 4 hour and daily trigger level, this is close to what we would call a multiple time frame break. So it's basically the 15-minute is going to go bullish, which is right there to the 4 hour and daily, and probably the other time frames as well. So you have a bunch of time frames triggering in the direction that you want to go, which is good, right? The more time frames we have in a direction that we want, the better. So make sure that you're always looking at multiple time frames, not just stuck and get tunnel vision on one. Multiple time frame break, there isn't necessarily an indicator for that. You can literally just mark it off, right? Like, for example, I went on the 4 hour a little earlier when we were talking and just marked off that afternoon candles close on Wednesday. So any price, so these two candles here, this big red one with the big wick and this green one here, these two 4 hour candles make one daily candle. So I already know that this high right here is going to be the daily candle break. And then this point down here is going to be the daily candle break to the downside. And then anything in between this price is an inside day or a 1 bar on the daily time frame. So you could literally just mark it off just so you can visually see it. That way you don't really need to go on the, let's say, the 4 hour, since you already have it marked off. So you can be like, all right, cool. Anything above this level here, let me zoom in actually. Anything above this level right over here, the 4 hour and daily, I already know is going to be bullish. So I have bullish time frame continuity in my favor, at least for day trading, right? I don't really take too much care. I don't care too much about the weekly and anything above that when I'm day trading, because I'm really going to be in and out. I'm not going to be holding it for a long time. Now, of course, if the weekly and the weekly and monthly and anything above that is in your favor, sure, that's even better. But I only really care about the daily and 4 hour when I'm looking at the smaller time frames for certain setups. Well, I personally, so this is my setup when I'm trading. I use the 5-minute on the top left. I use the 15-minute on the top right, the 30-minute on the bottom left, and then the 1 hour on the bottom right. I have setups for specific time frames, so I like to see all four of them to see specific levels, some specific key levels, things like that. And if, let's say, the 5-minute is printing with a specific setup, I can definitely look at that. If the 15-minute is setting up for something else, I can look for that, and so on and so forth. So, for example, let's replay this on the 5-minute. I didn't take this trade since I was driving when I was getting some lunch earlier. I know Pyro took this. He took this W on YM, and this is on the 5-minute time frame. So pretty straightforward. I don't necessarily like this choppiness over here, but this area right here we can use as a W area. So in this case, for the W, we're really just looking for the first bullish reversal back up after we get the higher low. It looks like, are these equal lows? 4, 2, 3. Yeah, these are equal lows. So technically it's not a lower low, which is what we don't want to see when we're going to be getting into this. So he basically took this long. His stop loss was under this bottom right area. I'm not sure if he was targeting the wick or the body, probably the body because of the wick size. And I believe his second area to take profit was in this area here. So let's go one candle forward. So boom, this next 212 up, that's when he gets in. Hey, Born, we'll probably be here for like another 15 minutes. So you got time. So he got in as soon as this broke this inside bar. And then let's keep on going a little more. So boom, this next bar hit the center target at this body, which I would probably aim for because I don't necessarily like when there's a longer wick in that area. It signifies sell pressure. Let's see. After he hit target 1, he moved the stop to 5 ticks in profit or 5 points in profit. Yeah, so it looks like this Candle over here. Let me get rid of this. This 2 down got him stopped out. So he left at least with one target on that trade. Now, if it did work out, we should have hit this area and completed the W. And this is generally what you want to see with the W setups, right? Once you get triggered in, you just want to see a continuous move hitting all the targets. You don't want to see any reversal. If we get any reversals before even the first target is hit, then the probability of it winning is going to lower. So something to keep in mind when you're taking it. I'm in for the full ride. So whether it reverses earlier or not, I'm going to stay in until it gets me stopped out. You can use your discretion and get out earlier. I just, I'll just stay and wait and see what happens ultimately. Cool. Hey, Kel, when did you get out of SPY yesterday? Also, welcome, Born, and anybody else that may have come late. Whatever trades you want me to review, win or lose, doesn't matter. Options, futures, Forex, regular stock, crypto, really doesn't matter. Just let me know and put it in the chat and we'll go over it. Again, win or lose does not matter. As I mentioned earlier, you learn by losing, especially in trading. Also, if you have not already, please hit the thumbs up or the like button. We got 9 people in here and 3 likes. I'm going to need at least 50% participation before we continue. You can't read the ticker and time frame. So right now, this specific chart, Born, is the 5-minute time frame on SPY. Whatever trades you got, put it in the chat. Gotcha. Yeah, I like to keep my charts as clean as possible. Ironically, ironically, yes, I do have broadening formations, which make the chart look crazy, but I just want the background to be as clean as possible. GJ, I'm assuming that's Forex, where it's pound yen. I'm assuming that's what you mean by GJ. Sweet. What time frame? Oh, actually, this is what should happen on a W, right? We have a nice example here. We get a nice clean move down. We get that retracing back up as if it's going to complete that bearish TTO or H pattern or dead cat bounce. It fails, makes a higher low, and then just goes straight up. W completes there, and then you have additional targets at these previous high, and so on and so forth. Granted, I wouldn't take this one because I want the center target to be a little more far away from where I get in at, but this is what you want to see just straight up. Anyway, what time frame did you get in the trade? So I can follow along with you. What time did you get in it as well? And were you long or short? M30. Whoops, that's not the tool I want. $10:30 a.m. And that's Eastern time, right? 10:30 Eastern. And what price did you get in at? Looks like it kind of just chopped around after it hit 10 UK time, 10:30. Let's look at the conversion because I'm not sure what that is. All right. So that's about 5 a.m. our time. All right, let's see. So 5 a.m. our time. 19,199,914. Let's get this tool out so we can see this. Oh yeah, that works too. Changing my time zone on TradingView. The price is off a little bit here, but so pretty much it sounds like you got like in around here, slightly a little higher. Yeah, so you got in there. I'm going to assume that this was a losing trade. Gotcha. What was the idea for the trade? Like, what made you get in there? Are you still in the trade? Gotcha. So, if just to be a little more clear, so you said that it's a test trade. Question for you, since it's a test trade. Is this test trade on your real account or is this test trade on your demo account? Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Everybody, come close. If you are testing something that you do not have proper data on, do not ever use real money. It does not make any sense to use real money when you're testing something, right? If I get a new car, I'm not going to test if it can brake properly on the highway going 100 miles an hour. I'm probably going to be doing it in a closed environment with nobody around or with a cheaper car or something, but I'm not going to be doing it on the highway with other people around me, right? So if you're testing something, use a demo account until you get proper data that it's actually working. Oh, that's another thing that I'll bring up too. If you're bored, Trading isn't to have fun. Trading is to make money, right? If you're bored, go do something outside. Go run a marathon if you want. Go play some games. Go watch a movie. Go do something that's not trading, right? I'm not gonna be an accountant and be like, hey, I'm gonna, just mess up with numbers today because I'm just bored. People be like, huh? Whose accountant are you? I'm out. Give me my paperwork back. So probably a super bad analogy, but you get the point. Anyway, um, anything that you're testing, always use your demo account until you have data that it works, and then go do something. Yeah, what David said too. Go to the casino, do something that's not trading, because that's a recipe for disaster. Because what you don't want is to build these small little bad habits, right? In your case, you're like, well, it's just 0.01 lot, right? It's nothing crazy. It's not earth shattering money, but you're still building that habit. And then what's going to happen is down the road, when you're using big size, that little thing might come back up one day. I'm bored. Let me go test this new setup. And you might use a good amount of size. So now, because you were bored and you were testing something, now you're going to mess yourself up by having a proper position on a trade that should not even be on a live account. So that's the feedback that I would give in that. Second, um, second, um, hoping is not a strategy. Now, granted, you said that you're testing the setup, so I'm not really going to dig too deep into this. But again, hoping is not a strategy. Obviously, you're still testing it, so you don't really have proper data on where your stop loss should probably be, things like that. But again, this is really best to either do back testing, and you can forward test with demo, but never on live. And then once you have like a solid foundation for the setup, then we can go and start using real money and seeing how we can handle the pressure of using the real money for the setup, and then see what comes up there. Cool. And what does the strategy entail? Like, what's the concept behind it? Like, what was the indicator telling you? Use the strat on a higher time frame and lower time frame execution. What was the higher time frame in this regard? Like, was it the 4 hour? Was it the daily? These wicks are absolutely disgusting. So this is the 1 through 5 a.m. high. MTF candles. By who? By YA Trader, Taurus, MTF Candlestick. Is it this thing? Fadi? All right, let's bring his up. All right, it's loading up. I don't want to edit the script. I want to add it to my chart. Maybe it's still loading. All right, look to the right-hand side. I'm looking to the right-hand side. I'm not seeing anything yet. Maybe it's still loading for me. There we go. Got you. All right, cool. So basically, it's just showing you the other time frames. Hey, Dominic, how are you? I've been great. How are you? So this is basically showing you the higher time frame, like the last few bars, instead of you going on those. Gotcha. All right, I can see that. You're braver than me, though. If I would have seen this huge wick on the 4 hour, I would have been apprehensive to take this continuation up or whatever it was on the 30 minute. I've seen something like this before. I've never used it though. Helps consolidate time frames. Cool. All right. Anybody got any more trades you want me to look at? If not, we will hop off in about 3 to 4 minutes. And after we wait, or after, or as we wait for the last potential setup that you guys want me to look at, remember tomorrow at 8 p.m. Let me double check so I don't give you guys the wrong time. Uh, where is this? Tomorrow we have the Let's Learn with Advent series. You can pretty much ask me whatever you want. That is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, whatever you want to ask me, come hang out and we'll chop it up. Pretty much go over anything. That's going to be tomorrow, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be on YouTube just like we're doing here. So, whatever questions you guys have, strategy wise, trading psychology, risk management, pretty much anything, we'll go over it. 8 p.m. tomorrow until 9 p.m. So we'll be together for an hour. Also, reminder, I was telling some people this in my group yesterday, I think it was. And I probably did a video on it last weekend, I think, or sometime this week. MQSP from today, I have no idea what that is. I've seen you guys talk about it in the chat, but I have no idea what that is. If you can kind of give me some insight on what it is, we can look into it. I know you guys trade whatever that thing is on SPY, so I'll bring SPY up in the meantime. Morning quick scalp. There we go. Thanks, because I've been wondering this whole time. I'm not sure how he uses that to get in and stuff. If you can give me an example, like does he kind of just go in like immediately in the morning in a specific direction or what exactly? Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Do you know what time he alerted it? I have like all the alert channels muted, so I don't see none of that. I literally just see the regular chat, the free chat, and my channel that I post the watch list in. 7 a.m. So that's 10 a.m. our time, or my time anyway. All right, let's see. Did he go long or short today? There was news at 10 too. Do you guys remember what time he got in or he alerted it? No, I'm usually just focusing and looking at my own thing. I don't take any signals. Let me see if I can check the chat and see when you guys were talking about it. And if he did it this morning, I'll check around 10. All right, let's see. So he was talking about puts. All right, let's see a screenshot that he mentioned. That was on the 15-minute that he was looking at. All right, we're on SPY on the 15-minute time frame. Alphas, if you're still in here, was that the one you were talking about of like holding the position through the whole thing? So what it looks like is that he probably got in around here on this 2 down. Let me mark this off real quick. I'm speculating because again, I don't know exactly when he meant. Well, if he said 9:40 Eastern, so it looks like it was like this 2 down right here. So let's mark off that first 15-minute candle and go on the 5-minute. So it might have been, feels like 9:40-ish, probably somewhere around here. You guys got in, kind of just did nothing for a bit, pulled back. Then that big news candle came out, probably shook a lot of people out, and then it got obliterated from there. I'm not sure how long you guys usually hold this, but that's probably what happened. Got in on that 2-1-2 down. Again, assuming he used a strat to get into the trade. And then it kind of just moved sideways, retraced a little bit, and then it got obliterated back down. and went in the money. Well, it was already in the money for the most part, which always helps with theta burn. Cool. And again, that's like the closest I can probably try to explain it. Um, Again, I don't trade the way he does. I know he has like some of his indicators and things like that, which work great. I just don't like indicators to an extent because it's just a lot of noise. But as always, keep on doing whatever makes you the most money. I'll try to keep an eye out on Monday if he like calls one out, and then I'll kind of reference it with my chart and see what potentially he was probably looking at, and then we can talk about it some more. What are some of the indicators I like? Well, the way you see my chart, that's basically the indicators I use. The strat indicator, I already know if it's like an inside bar. I kind of just keep this on for you guys. So when I'm explaining certain setups, like, 2-1-2-1-3 up or 2-1-2 down or whatever it may be, it's easier for you guys to follow along. But I already know what each candle is. I use the ATR indicator on the top right that we have up here. It lets me know what the range is and how and kind of where we are in completing the ATR. So SPY today only really moved about 55% of its ATR. So when it comes to choosing options, I don't like choosing more than 50% of the ATR. So let's say if my trigger to get into puts was 529 and the ATR of SPY, let's say it's $5, I'm not going to go more than $2.50 away from my entry for the strike price. So if I got in at, if my trigger is 629, the furthest that I'll go away of my strike price is 650. Because based on its ATR, I still have that potential room for it to even hit and go in the money. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The strat indicator, ATR, Fibonacci retracements, which isn't really an indicator, it's more of a tool. And that's pretty much all I use. I don't use volume. I haven't used none of that in a while. APLD 11 call at 42 cents off a signal. Let's bring that up, and then we'll wrap up after this trade. I gotta eat my dinner, and I'm hungry. So pretty much it looks like, David, you guys got in on this 2 up, like this third candle here, around 940. Or actually, no, the first minute candle, you pretty much just bought as soon as the previous day broke. Yeah, so pretty much like 5 minutes into it, you guys just like went long immediately. And then you got out basically this candle right over here. Yeah, because literally nothing told you to get out of this trade until 10 o'clock or 10:05 when price reversed on you. Because we can see here, let me zoom in. We can see here the next candle, 2 up, next candle, 2 up, next candle, 2 up, next candle, failed 2 up with a potential reversal signal. However, it never reversed. 2 up, another 2 up that failed, closed red, and then we get the reversal. So I'm assuming the stop loss was low of day. So the runner, if you had a runner, basically would have been right as soon as this candle right here broke under this one and price reversed. And then you could have just trailed to maximize your trade. What I like to do for my runners, I'll trail each candle in the time frame that I got in. For example, if I got in on, let's say, this 2 up right here, so the second 2 up, As soon as, let's say, this second candle hit my target, what I'm going to start doing now is after every closed candle, I'm going to move my stop up. So my stop was down here. As soon as it hits the first target, let's say somewhere over here, my stop is now at break even, so I don't lose any money. As soon as this candle continues up and closes, my stop loss is now under here. As soon as this candle breaks up and closes, my stop loss is here. Same thing for this one. Move the stop up over here. Move the stop up until price reverses on you. That way you can squeeze as much as you can out of the trade. What one of my students does, she uses the 30-minute and the 1 hour, and she'll be in a trade for like 2-3 hours and make like 200-300% on a trade easy. I don't have the patience to stay on that long because I'm gonna get off at 12 noon anyway. But she's a beast at those. So something to look into. Cool. For those who came late, you can check the replay or the recording when we end this class, and then like in 2 minutes. The same link that you use to join this is going to be the same one that you use to watch the recording. The last thing that I'll leave you guys with, teachings from my sensei in my judo class, is some things that I've learned. Make sure that you learn the foundational items of trading so you don't mess yourself up and get injured. Obviously, you're going to mess yourself up. We're human, right? But make sure that you do things properly and efficiently and correctly. For example, if you are not journaling, and let me preface it this way, because everybody gets into trading for many different things, right? Like in judo, some people get into like just to learn the skill, like I am. Some people go in to learn how, like, to compete against others in tournaments, things like that. I'm not doing it for that, and I probably never will. But let's bring it back to trading. You know, some people get into trading to follow signals, which is perfectly fine. Some people get into trading to learn how to trade themselves. Some people go into it to be full-time traders. Some others to like supplement whatever they're making now with more money with trading. Many different things, right? For the most part, this is more so going to apply to anybody that's not really just doing it just for signals, because signals, in my opinion, just work a little differently where you're kind of just following what somebody else is doing. The biggest thing that you want to do if you're just taking signals and not really looking to learn to take your own trades, you really want to focus on risk management, right? Because again, let's say whoever's putting the signal out, they might have $2,000 on that trade that they're willing to lose. However, you might only have $300 in that trade that you probably don't want to lose, right? So if they might be able to hold the trade longer than you can if it goes against them, right? So risk management is always, always, always key, regardless of what you're trying to do with trading, right? You don't want to get in the cycle, which I've seen a lot in the chat. Many groups that I've been in and support myself when I started out is we'll break this down in a few different areas, but overconfidence, right? You're getting a lot of wins back to back to back to back to back. Later, Jay, I'll see you guys. You get a lot of wins back to back, right? And then what ends up happening, you're like, well, I won the last 10 trades and I'm using $200 on this. Let me use $1,000 now. But what ends up happening? That $1,000 trade, it's the loser. And you basically give all your profits back that you worked hard on for the last 2 weeks. So you really want to up your size in the positions slowly, right? I like to use 10% of my account in every single trade, unless I'm swing trading, which I'll use like 5 or 7%. But generally, I'm using between 5 and 10% in each trade. And I'm not going to be losing more than 1 to 3% of my account per trade. Because again, the name of the game is surviving. You're going to lose trades. That's normal. You cannot escape losing trades. If you came into trading to not lose, this business is not for you because you are going to lose. That's to be expected. Nothing is 100%. So again, risk management, no matter what. Now, for those who are looking to get into trading to trade for yourself, to learn how to learn the skill. Sure, you can take signals if you want, but if you really want to learn how to do this yourself, you want to get again, proper technique, proper practices, X, Y, and Z. What does that mean for trading? Again, risk management, that goes for everybody, no matter what. Second thing, you want to journal all of your trades. If you don't know what to journal, go to my YouTube channel, which we're on right now. Just search journal, and there'll be like an hour-long class that I gave on what exactly to journal and what I journal to give you guys a template and a frame or to use or framework to use. Again, journaling is going to teach you a lot about yourself, your own habits, things that you need to work on mentally, physically, discipline wise, all that good stuff, what your best setups are, what your best time frames are, all of that stuff. So if you're looking to do this and build the skill yourself, journaling is a must. You do that forever. The black belts that I train with, we all today, we're doing the exact same exercises and techniques. It doesn't matter if you're an expert, doesn't matter if you're a beginner. We practice the same thing over and over and over and over. So if you're going to be trading to make money and make a living off of this, you will be journaling until you stop trading. That's a forever thing, right? Same thing with risk management. What else might you guys want to look into? Journaling, risk management. As always, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, start building your trading system, right? Whatever that may be. What does that look like for you? What does your pre-trading routine look like for you, right? These are all things that you have to be mindful of. For example, not going to say his name, but people that are in Top Hats group, there's this dude. There's this dude in there who he's been having a rough time the last 2-3 weeks. And I know exactly where he's at. He's not trading from a logical point of view. He's trading out of fear. I'm not sure his entire situation, but let's just keep it at fear-based trading. And he's making a lot of mistakes, cutting trades early, maybe not even getting into trades because he's scared, and so many other things. Holding on to losers, hoping. Again, hoping is not a strategy, so do not do that. There's many things that's going on with this individual. And again, in those moments, you need to take a step back and you need to recoup yourself, see where you're not showing up correctly for yourself and your mental health and all these other things and in trading, and then improve on that. But if you continuously try to attack it in, let's use some fighting terms. If you continuously try to attack somebody and you're already tired, you're not really going to be doing the technique properly. You're not going to be attacking strongly as you would if you got proper rest, X, Y, and Z, right? So always take breaks from trading. Take a few days off, take a week off if you need to, right? The market isn't going anywhere. And if the market does go somewhere, the last of your worries is trading. You better go and get a lot of food and some ammo and hunker down. So again, look at trading as a business, as a job. You need that vacation time, right? You need that mental break. Because I'll give you guys another example. I'm working with this new student now. He hasn't taken a break in probably a year of trading. And he's taken off the last I think the last week, and he's like, wow, like I'm really glad that I took that little break. He can see where he was messing up this whole time and what he wasn't paying attention to in himself, and a lot more of these like epiphanies and a lot more clarity came to him once he took that step back, right? We always need to remove ourselves from the situation to look at it objectively and logically, right? I'm sure a lot of us have had friends and maybe even ourselves that have been in relationships that you're like, why are you still with that person? And you're like, oh, but you know, this and that, you know, and they make all these excuses to stay in that same predicament, right? But you looking at it from the outside, you can see clearly what's going on and what needs to be done. So the same thing for yourself in trading and whatever's going on in your life. Take a step back, take a little break, you know, recoup yourself and see what's going on and go from there. Cool. I'll answer these last few questions and then we'll wrap up and go enjoy our Friday. How do you practice options trading? So living, you can use Thinkorswim has paper trading. That's what Schwab. Webull has paper trading. I don't use like Fidelity or anything like that, or E-Trade. Whoever uses that, you can maybe let them know if you can use paper trading there. I'm sure you can. But yeah, Webull is good. Thinkorswim, that's what I use. I know TradingView, you can see like the options chain. I'm just not sure if you can trade options on it. So something to look into. But Webull, pretty straightforward how to use it. Interface is easy. All that good stuff. Sam mentioned that he took a week off recently and just reviewed his strategy to find refinements, and he was able to figure out how to avoid lots of his bad setups, like reducing false positive setups by 20%. And that's fantastic, right? As long as we're doing things to move the needle, as one of my life coaches tells me, what can you do to move the needle closer to where you want to be, right? So in Sam's case, he took a step back. Cool. Identified where he could refine his setup. Now that he's like not in it, he could see a little more clearly. And he did great. Good stuff, Sam. Yeah, David. Thinkorswim, the learning curve in the beginning is very, very, very big, right? But once you get used to that, it's pretty straightforward. But really just spend time on it. I have a video on my channel if you want to check it out, how to set up Thinkorswim and some things. You can even call Schwab and they'll set up like a one-on-one with one of their reps and they'll like walk you through the platform for I think like 30 minutes or an hour, one of those two. And the biggest thing, you know, just make the platform as easy as you can for yourself. If you find the web version easier, you know, and you do well, use that. If you find the desktop version easier, which I enjoy, use that. Whatever makes your trading situation best. My second mentor always taught me learn your platform in and out so you can be as efficient as you can when it comes to trading. One thing that I will say, David, is I use mobile to execute my options trades, and I just use the chart to just like do charting. When I first started trading, I just had one computer, like one monitor and my phone. So I literally just did that for like half a year and I just got used to it. So I even still do it now. Only for options though. For futures, I'm using the computer. So I find it super efficient on the phone to just get into option trades in and out. I enjoy it. Some people use active trader on the desktop. I don't really care for it, even though it is very nice. All right, ladies and gents, we've been here for an hour. I'm hungry and tired. I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have the Let's Learn with Advent series tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube channel, the same way you guys got here. You can come ask me whatever you want. We can go over strategy, literally anything you want. Bring your questions, and I'll see you then. As always, appreciate you guys for coming out. I love doing this stuff and talking to you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend.